Let me first start off this commentary by saying that Wanda Cooper Jones, who is the mother to Ahmaud Arbery, has to probably be one of the strongest women that I have talked about on my channel in quite some time, considering all of she is going through, and not just her, but the rest of his family and anyone else who's attached to this case. I remember when I first heard her speak, and she spoke with a stern tone. And one of the first things I remember her saying, if anything else, if I never heard anything else, was she saying that the McMichaels and that other one, the reason I said that other one is because I honestly forget his name a lot of the times, saying that they needed the death penalty for what they did to her son. And she has never wavered from anything. And from that point forward, when I heard her say that, I already knew she wasn't going to be one of those people that was going to be out here talking about forgiveness and everything like that. And she hasn't. So she's been very consistent, which makes me support her even more. Because that happened back in 2020. Here we are 2 years later. It's crazy how time just flies by so fast. And she's still on that same tip. And, of course, the last time we spoke about the McMichaels was them being sentenced to life in prison for being found guilty on the vast majority of the charges that they were convicted of. Now, fast forward to recently, there's been some controversy, or I guess you can say some dust up with the DOJ and this plea deal that the McMichaels were offered as far as their location of wherever they were going to be staying in prison, and how the DOJ pulled some underhanded stuff when it came to them doing this and literally going behind Wanda's back to try to pull this off. Now, if y'all have watched Professor Black Truth's Moment of Truth, he really breaks it down how this went. What I'll probably do is I'll get the link to his video and I'll post it and pin it at the comments just so y'all can watch it. But most of y'all who are subscribed to me are subscribed to him, so many of you probably have already seen his commentary by now. So you have all of that going on, and Wanda basically comes out and says, hold on, we didn't agree to this plea deal, quote unquote, that the DOJ just kind of slipped right in there for them to get a move of location as far as or the prison, or allowing them to go to a different type of prison. And she has said before a while back that she wants them to stand trial for the hate crime charges, because for them to get this plea deal, that kind of bypasses that. And she's standing firm on her square and saying, no, I want them to go to trial for these hate crime charges. Because 9 times out of 10, they will most likely be found guilty of those charges as well. If they could get them on all of those charges that got them the life sentencing, this should be a cakewalk, hopefully. I don't want to jinx it, but most likely. So I'm going to go ahead and read this article that's coming from The Hill that was posted January 31st, 2022. Wanda Cooper Jones, the mother of Ahmaud Arbery, who was murdered in a Georgia suburb in 2020, says she is opposing a plea deal reached by 2 of the men convicted in the case, Travis McMichael and his father, Gregory McMichael, after the deal with federal prosecutors was reported. Both men have been charged with hate crimes in the killing. A copy of the plea agreement has been provided to the court for its consideration. The notices of a plea agreement which were filed Sunday in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Georgia. While details about the agreements were not disclosed in the documents, an attorney for Cooper Jones said the family is devastated by the agreement and will oppose it. S. Lee Merritt, Cooper Jones' attorney, said in an Instagram post he will oppose this deal before the court on Monday. This backroom deal represents a betrayal to the Arbery family, who was devastated, Merritt added. The men, along with William Roddy Bryan, who was not mentioned in the filing on Sunday, were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole earlier this month for the murder of Arbery, a 25-year-old black man who was jogging in a South Georgia neighborhood when confronted by the men. Bryan videotaped part of Arbery's murder, while Travis McMichael fatally shot the 25-year-old and was found guilty on 9 charges, including malice murder. As we understand it, Arbery left his home apparently to go for a run, and he ended up running for his life, Judge Timothy Walmsley said of Arbery's death at the time of the sentencing. The men were also indicted on federal hate crime charges, which they are set to face trial for beginning February 7th. Now, what has now been added into this is the judge since all of this has kicked off with the plea deal thing, is that the judge has rejected the plea deal. So that is a good thing. But the fact of the matter is that the DOJ went behind this woman's back, that the family's back, and tried to pull this off. And that's why, if you watch Professor Black Shoe's video, he said that it's a good thing that this family and those involved with this case have stayed on top of this, and they were on their P's and Q's. Because if they were slack, even in the slightest, they would have pulled the wool over their eyes, and they would have like literally slipped this in. And by the time they found out what they were doing, it would have been too late. So it's a good thing that they are staying on top of this. That's why, you know, I'm almost say that this case is like a litmus test. Let this be a litmus test for any case like this going further, to really stay on top of stuff like this, because they will pull all kinds of underhanded things in order to make things cushy for their clients if they can't get them off. Because the thing is that they're not walking back from the life sentencing that they're getting. They were just trying to make it comfortable for them. They were going to stay almost like at a Club Fed, you know, like those nice cushy prisons that are, you know, definitely not for them. Like, put them in the most worst conditions that they possibly can, if it's even possible. Yeah, so they tried to slip in this whole plea deal that would have made them avoid a hate crime trial. But thankfully the judge tossed that and rejected that deal. So now they will be going to trial again for the hate crime charges on February 7th. And I think there's some other woman that was mentioned. I forget her name. She's a black woman. She's some kind of an attorney, one of them individuals that shouldn't be trusted. Professor Black Shoe talks about her in the video. Like I said, I'm gonna post the link to his commentary in the comments below, and you can watch it for yourself if you have not seen it already, because he really breaks it down. But shout out to Wanda Cooper Jones and all the people that's involved in her corner. I'm sure people are going to be having a watchful eye on this one as well, to see what they get hit with when it comes to this hate crime charges, which I'm hoping, but I'm almost certain at the same time, that they'll be found guilty of that as well, considering they've already been found guilty of everything else except for like one charge. But that pretty much concludes this commentary right here. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Go ahead, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you are new. Hit that bell to be notified every time I upload a new video or go live, and I will talk to you in the next one.